Welcome to session 15 of The Space Between. Tonight, our recap brought by Zeke.
There we are staring down our objective, with fear as our only real obstacle, or so I thought. Take a moment to channel precognition, and I was able to observe a future wherein I was able to collect the gemstone, but met a sudden and violent end to what I assume was a searing pre-tech burst fire laser to the square of my back. We'll have to discuss another plan that doesn't involve me getting dead. I might advise that our best options are to just not even bother with this death trap and instead take paths left traveled. For the time being, we seem to align on that decision without much fuss. It didn't take us long to find what appears to be an elevator shaft leading downwards into a chamber that contained more pretext scrap, which I gladly returned to Miss Lloyd. Hopefully, that's enough to satiate her appetite for artifacts. We must decide if we're going to double back for this crystal now or at some other time. Regardless, I won't be the man to collect that stone from its perch.
All right. Well summed up, I'd say. So, how would you all like to proceed? Miss Lloyd is setting to work on unearthing more of the bodies, the ones that are partially visible already, and scrounging around for more scrap.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
How far in the future can Zeke see? And is it only limited to himself, or can he see like other people doing things?
I can post the flavor text for you if you'd like.
I can't have Rule 20 right now, so someone would have to tell me.
Yeah. So the way I'm interpreting it for now, and I am open to being persuaded to a different interpretation. But it's the vision is always from his personal vantage point. Never reveals more than a minute of insight. It currently, let's see, are you precog 2 at the moment?
Yeah, so it's 1 week out.
Yeah. So that's as far out as he can see. And the question should always be answered as if the player character were about to perform the act or engage in the investigation pertinent to the question. So it's, yeah, the way I'm interpreting it is he's got to be the one doing something that triggers some sort of relevant vision about the consequences.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the example given is if you wanted to know what pressing a button would do, and the GM knows it's connected to a bomb, then they might just see themselves blowing up. But if it's just makes something happen that extends out past the duration of their I guess the maximum time horizon, as they put it, of the oracle, then they might just be sitting there twiddling their thumbs waiting for something to happen.
Okay. But he can't see like other things happening to other people, basically.
Yeah, not unless his action causes that to happen.
Is it that his action causes it to happen, or that it's something within his vantage point? That's a bit confusing.
So it's from his vantage point, but it's also related to him doing something. So, like, for example, if, he went in with everyone else and did something and it made something happen to somebody else, he would see that happen to them. If that makes sense.
So if Zeke decided not to grab this stone, but wanted to know what would happen if Cherry did, that would be a no-go.
Yeah, I think so.
So here's my question. In the vision, he was using telekinesis.
Right.
Is there any way he could use his teleportation, though?
Ooh, could he like teleport just his hand inside, grab it, and teleport it back out?
Yeah, it's pretty clear that that doesn't jive.
So
No,
it's not
I
a
mean,
portal, teleportation.
no. Theoretically, he could do something like, once once the casing is broken or opened or whatever, um, he could put his hand on it and immediately teleport out of the room.
I mean, 100 meters is his max distance. Technically, he might. Is that enough distance for him to get out of this cave?
Not quite out of the. Um, hmm. That's a good question. I don't know if he knows exactly how deep that spot is from the surface. Say he knows, kind of linearly going back out the way they came, it wouldn't get him all the way to the entrance of that little cave mouth. And he knows that he is underneath a bit of a large hill slash small mountain. But it would absolutely get him part of the way back up the little narrow exit tunnel.
And then he can just teleport again, right?
Yeah.
Well, not effortlessly.
No.
He's sitting on one effort left, so he's got one jump left at 100
Ooh.
meters.
I don't think we're planning on doing all of this today. And if we did do anything like that, then I think it would be smart of us to wait until everybody's out full anyways. Including our spooky dookie psychic.
Well, I mean, his next level of apparition, he's going to 10 kilometers. I mean, like,
Oh, I don't mean level up. I mean just rest for
the
a
night.
day and get your effort back.
got you.
Eva's still of the mindset that we should be trying to discourage her from getting it and entertain an offer if she makes one and decide if that's worth the risk to us. With the stipulation that we earn the pay simply by undertaking, not by succeeding.
Hey, Ben.
Yes.
When Cherry did her hack on the system with the line shunt,
Mm-hmm.
was she able to determine exactly how these bots are connected to the the phylactery floating there?
You mean like how physically they're connected?
Like, is it powering them? Is it a hair trigger? Like, is this a sort of situation where you could replace it with something of equal weight, like Indiana Jones style? Or is this, you know what I mean? Like,
That's a good question. She was not able to determine to that degree of detail. She didn't, dig into the specs of whatever sensor array is monitoring that gemstone. She just knows that there's some kind of system that's hooked up to the bots that activates them, and she knows she can suppress that. She could suppress that with a hack. But there's also a
chance of
physical
failing.
alarm. Yeah, also a chance of failing for sure. But there's a physical alarm that would go off. She could also suppress that, but that's a second hack.
I really want to do it.
Well, we need enough time for you to prepare then.
Yeah, so here's
And
my
we need the exfiltration plan as backup, so we need enough time for Zeke to recharge.
So
Mhm.
here's my thing. I was telling Ben is like me as a player, I'm definitely the kind of player that's like, no, I don't think that's worth the risk. Like, no, thank you. But I was wondering if Cherry as a character would feel that way, especially having grown up on Luhay Nuda
Mm.
and being around AI, and being a tech enthusiast. I was like, how would she feel about this? So I kind of feel like her first reaction still stands of like her being a little freaked out or wary, but I do think after that she would be probably just like more and more intrigued, if that makes sense. So I think Cherry is, if given too much time, I guess, here down here, she's going to want to try to figure out a way to get that.
Hmm.
Okay.
So
Well, yeah, there's certainly time for her to sit down with her data slab and take the time to prepare hacks. You
mhm.
know, a variety of different hacks depending on how long she does that while Miss Lloyd and others are digging up and bagging bodies.
Yeah, I think she would want to do that. So let me get my laptop so I can make rolls. But um, if anybody else has anything they wanted to narrate or explore while I'm getting that laptop, no worries.
Okay. And you won't actually have to make any rolls to do the preparation.
Okay.
It's just a matter of time. Um, the rolls will have to happen whenever she plans to implement the hack. Let's see. Does anybody else have anything they want to be doing other than? I guess we can just go down the line and see what everybody's up to. While Sarah Lloyd is trying to get bodies, they're helping or doing something different.
Oh, also, real quick before we pivot away, does anybody feel like that's out of character for Cherry, or like that seems
No,
like a 180? Or
no.
okay,
I remember you establishing in the last session that she was enjoying kind of getting back to her hacking roots.
yeah,
So I think it makes sense.
okay. Because I know she had been like very intense with Sarah Lloyd about like, are you about to put all of us in danger by trying to acquire this thing? And then now she's like, oh, actually, maybe I want to acquire this thing, you know? So I don't want to like give anyone whiplash on that, but I just gave it some more thought and I was like, I don't know. I kind of think she would be interested. So anyway. All right. Sorry, continue. Whoever wants to
All
do
right.
whatever.
What would Zeke be up to?
I feel like having almost spent all of his effort, he might be kicking it,
Okay.
catching a breath, you know, sitting on a cool looking rock.
Okay. What about Eva?
Well, Eva's gonna make sure that Bo and Pete are posting and rotating guard. That is, after all, what we were hired to do. Well, part of what we were hired to do is, transport Sarah here, protect her, we've already gone a little bit beyond what we said we'd do when we helped her get into the place and when we
Oh.
helped her dig stones out. But that's just because Eve is a go-getter like that.
Pete really did say that's gonna cost extra.
He did.
When did he say
Well, I
that?
mean, that
No,
was
just
last
when Robert
session.
was like,
And there's Eva just rolling up her sleeves. Well, actually, probably not even rolling up her sleeves. She gets dirty all over the place. It's not like she rolls up her sleeves.
Pete is the Shadow King. Pete's like, I'll send you the bill.
Yeah, last session Pete was like, I don't know, this sounds like we might have to renegotiate if you want that. Because this is a little bit more than we bargained for.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
imagine though, if Eva's checking on things, then Pete's probably digging and getting bored.
Okay.
Does like the compad have like a radio function?
Yeah, it would. Probably not getting much uh, down here.
No, that's a bummer.
com server.
Pete is so bored, he's disappointed he doesn't get random radio traffic.
Yep.
Does that mean that Bo is watching if Pete's digging?
I was gonna
so
say,
I guess he was.
has Bo taken his eyes off those security pods?
Well, that door is closed, and I think Eva was wanting somebody on that door and looking out from the cave, not like at the top of the cave, but midway up.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, I'm not sure about Pete digging, is what I'm saying there. But
What, you mean you'd be preferring Bo to be digging and Pete to be stand to watch?
no, there's no more digging to do, at least as far as I know.
Okay. No, I imagined him doing whatever like grunt work there is to be done.
Yeah, I mean, there's some moving rubble and stuff to uncover these other bodies.
Worker bot instincts, you know.
Yeah, Sarah. Seems like Sarah could probably handle it between her and Carrie, but she will certainly welcome the help from Pete.
How about this?
The more hands involved, the quicker the trip goes.
Bo and Pete posted at midway up the tunnel and at the door just to make sure that there's nothing going on inside and nobody going inside. If Sarah needs an extra set of hands, then Eva's floating and she's all too happy to get herself dirty. And Cherry is chronicling the event and doing her hack. Well, preparing her hack.
Okay.
Does are Bo and Pete okay with that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
And obviously,
Although I think Bo would ask Eva and say, "Did we have a like something for music on this ship that we could like install in my armor or something?" Because I'm getting bored.
He would look at him. Wait, at Eva or at
Eva?
Barry?
Yeah.
No, at Eva, because Eva's like, he'd ask Eva. That.
Yeah, and Eva's going up the halfway up the tunnel to check up on Pete. I can ask Cherry. I'm sure she has something.
No, I mean like a scrap boombox or something. I don't want to take something from Cherry.
Bo's tough listening to his own tunes.
Bo's listening to his own tunes?
He has pirated hundreds of hours of music from the 20th century from the local libraries of the sectors.
Is it pirating if it's from a library?
Libraries don't want you to keep it forever.
Oh my goodness.
He's got late fees racked up on every civilized planet.
Oh
He's used
no!
20 different identities.
The preceptors will be coming for him if he ever steps foot back in.
He's like the
Wow.
voter fraud of the galaxy.
Note to self.
They go to collect the
No, I
late
guess that he's
fees
not
only to
like racking
find a
up
tombstone.
late fees, but he is, I guess, like copying a lot of the digital files. It depends on how different locales feel about that.
I assume Bo has like headphones on though.
Mm-hmm. And I guess this is 20th century music. Now Ben has to come up with copyright law.
You wouldn't download a Starship.
In the 3200s.
Eva responds, "Well, we can't have a boombox. We can't make that much noise."
Not even turning the volume down? I'm just talking about the parts, Eva. I know you're smart. You could turn a boombox into like a whisper box, right?
I could probably make something. I'll see what parts I have.
It's not like I have ears for headphones. He kind of points.
Do you have an audio port? Is that rude
I
to
don't
ask?
know. I don't know. Do I have an audio port?
Ben, Eva has helped in the reconstruction of Pete. Does he have an audio port?
I imagine
Absolutely.
Pete's like looking on his body, like, where? What does that look like, even? Like,
Unless you removed it, I think I remember putting it back, right, here. And she gets a little bit awkward, but she pokes at it, and it's like right at where the shoulder meets what would be somebody's neck muscles. That bone right there on a normal human, the clavicle.
and Pete will just kind of go, "Oh, that's why I never saw it, huh?"
You should make sure you keep that little rubber tab over it. You don't want dirt getting in there, or you'll hear scratchy sounds.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But I can make something. Yeah, give me an hour. Then
Sure.
can't even make something.
All right. How many does she have? Bits of like, does she have pieces of scrap or whatever on her person?
She's got 6 units of spare parts. Each of those is
Okay.
worth 50 credits. So don't make it cost too much.
Yeah, no. If it's just a radio, then I think 1 unit would certainly do the trick. Let me think for a moment.
I'm thinking something that's just like a very small storage device that has that's maybe what's her name? Cherry could either copy an app over to, like, has enough computing in it that an app could be installed on it to play music and store a few dozen songs.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is she telling Cherry to do that right
Not
now?
yet. I'm waiting to see if Ben says that
Okay.
it's okay first.
I mean, Pete would also want like a radio function, just because
Oh, okay.
he's not gonna have a massive library, but also local news could be handy.
So, Dex, are you thinking of this as like a jury-rigged thing, or
I was just
more?
thinking of it like a little non-thing, really. But now that we're talking about specific equipment, like what you're describing there, Robert, is basically field radio. And
But isn't a field radio supposed to be like a personal radio for communicating with others, not like listening to public radio?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Maybe I misunderstood. You're actually talking about receiving signals from elsewhere.
Yeah, he's like just
Yeah.
thinking about an AM radio, literally.
Are there even any signals to receive here?
The robots have NPR.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
there were
This
definitely
program made possible by bots like you.
yeah, there were various shortwave signals bouncing around the planet. You guys didn't tap into any of them
Okay,
to,
well,
to listen in. But
could Eva have identified that some of those are actually music stations using the magical survey scanner?
survey scanner? No, I don't think so.
How about their ship's sensors as we were coming in?
Oh yeah, I mean, she could have done that. Are you wanting to say retroactively that she did that?
I guess I'm just asking if we can know that there's signals that could be intercepted, so that Eva even knows that making a radio to receive the signals is worthwhile.
Oh, it's gonna do anything? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
she would know that.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm looking for there. Then yeah, I guess jury rigging something so that not to play stored music, but to receive signals so that Pete can listen into the
Hmm.
radio from the planet.
Yeah, I think one unit of scrap would be fine, and that's not something that's going to be difficult enough for her to require a roll.
Okay.
It'll just take one maintenance score to keep it functional. I'll have to, you know, tweak things, check on the little bits that she soldered together, make sure it's holding up to whatever wear and tear and jostling that it'll get.
Okay. Yeah, she'll tailor it to Pete, make it so that it's uh easy to wear on his frame to clip on and secure, and a little wire that just snakes around to that port.
Nice.
And mark down the spare parts.
Cool.
All right, well that occupies Eva for what, like hour or two?
Yeah, I think so, something like that. Yeah, it's probably yeah, yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna say something that small. I'm not gonna go with the standard, like equipment build times or anything. It's nothing that complex. Yeah, say in a couple hours should do the trick.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Pete doesn't
Um,
sleep, does he? He just charges when he needs to.
Yep.
I guess
He
he's
pretends that he sleeps on board, but like it's just charging
Eva comes
or
up
avoiding people.
with the radio. Pete, I'm sorry to ask you this, but do you think you can just keep this post until we're done down there?
Sure.
I think it works good because you'll also have this radio. Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just clip it
That's
right
awesome.
here, and the wire here. Let me. And she plugs it in for him, clips it on. Yeah,
Well,
it's like
thank you.
she's adjusting his tie. Is how she's carried on with this little radio.
Yeah.
And dials here. I didn't have enough to like make it integrated so that you could just kind of flick your wrist or anything, but a dial works.
Yeah, that's fine. I probably used something like this a long time ago.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
you're welcome. if you get bored, come on down and I'll take over for a while. You're not like locked up here, but just 'cause you don't need to sleep.
I understand.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Welcome. She goes back down with a smile on her face.
All right. She's done good. Oh. All right. So, Cherry for her hack. I guess she's wanting to prepare to suppress the at least like suppress the bot response, and also as a just in case she decides to, does she want to prepare a suppression of the physical alarm too?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that she wants to do? I think it's only an hour per hack.
Yeah.
Okay. You said, and sorry, I already forgot. Did you say yes or no to extra hacks?
To extra hacks?
Yeah, like, was there anything else you had in mind that you might want to try doing?
I think what I'm trying to do so far is I'm trying to disable the security bots.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if there's any way to do that.
I mean, you could. Let's see. So there's sabotage a system, which is a base difficulty of 10 versus base of 8 for suppressing it. With sabotaging, you could, if you could sabotage that, you know that in this case, though, this would immediately alert the system and kind of end up triggering the bots anyway.
Okay. Then I guess she was looking to see if there was any way that she could replace the stone.
Okay. That could be like an answer a specific question hack, which is a base of 8. And if you did it like if you spaced it out, then you could definitely ask that question and then later still do the other hacks without ramping up the difficulty. Just have to wait a day.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? The last sentence.
Yeah, if as long as you wait 24 hours after you ask that question to do that hack, then you could do the other suppressing stuff without extra difficulty.
Okay. Is that how long we were planning on staying here?
You guys were definitely planning on staying another night to let Zeke recover his effort before you did anything else or even tried to leave. So Cherry could probably make the argument for staying another 24 hours to give time to go after that thing.
All right. So what kind of check do I need to make right now?
So if you want to attempt the hack now, it would be a program with intelligence. You would get to roll your 3d6, drop 1 on it, and it would be at a difficulty of 10.
Robert,
Yep.
as someone who played a hacker for over a year, um,
Yeah.
would that be something that Cade would do, or that you would think is a doable or easy choice?
It's definitely doable if you have at least a +2. +3 is a lot safer. The
I
concern
have
is
a
that
+2.
you have a +2,
Mhm.
so you can't try to silence the alarm first because then that'll add the +2 to the sabotage. But if you sabotage the bot systems outright, it may not be a big deal. So
Do
you
you want
definitely have the skill to do that first. What were you saying?
to? I was gonna say, we could do the what am I trying to say? I guess the odds.
The odds for a
Um,
successful sabotage, you mean?
Zeke
yeah.
also
And
does have
maybe it would
one.
help to understand what the benefit of a sabotage over a suppress would actually be.
So the
Zeke
sabotage.
also does have one effort left.
Yeah.
So it has a failed roll.
So right
Okay,
now,
helpful.
in the immediate sense, a sabotage doesn't look like it would help you guys because it's going to the sabotages are always disruptive enough to the system that they're going to alert people anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing you uh, have access to that you can sabotage that will make a difference now.
Okay.
If you wanted to like sabotage and then come back later, it's possible things would have calmed down. But right now, sabotage doesn't look like a good option.
But
You
right
just don't
now,
have
the best two options are to suppress the alarm that would go
Yeah.
out and to suppress the bots, right?
right.
Well,
And
if you suppress
I
the
made
alarm, the bots should not activate.
I think the bots are
well,
separate.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I may not have made it very clear. So the bots suppressing the bots would mean that they don't instantly activate when the sensors trip. The physical alarm is something that it would still register, but it's not going to, it's not hooked up directly to them. It's intended to be like a the bots the bots respond, and then also human overseers are alerted. Um, so the bots would likely eventually respond to the physical alarm happening, but it wouldn't be like an instantaneous programmed kind of thing. I
Okay,
don't know if
so
that makes
both
sense.
have to be suppressed.
But the suppressing the bots is definitely going to be more helpful.
Right. The alarm will still go. So yeah, if you suppress the bots first, you're very likely to succeed on your first roll regardless. Rolling 3d6 plus 2 is really effective, Danielle. Um and with your ability to re-roll that if need be, plus an extra possible re-roll from Zeke means you could possibly suppress both the alarm and the bots successfully,
Okay, so I
especially
would need to
prepared.
click program.
Yep. And it would be 3d6 because you're
Okay,
doing a hack roll.
okay. And then
And
I
then
just click submit,
it would be that,
and,
yes.
and then it asks me which attribute, and you said intelligence, Ben?
Correct.
Don't think you're doing it yet, though, are
Okay,
you?
Oh, so this is something before you do that, I'm realizing this is
okay,
something that I forgot about in terms of your character growth, which you've still got points you haven't spent. You would have wanted to put
yeah,
a 1 point into intelligence to get you up to a 14. I
okay,
think that was
Yep.
definitely in the plans because that you didn't have had not spent anything on attributes yet, and that intelligence sitting at a 13 would
yep, okay. I just
That'll
upped it.
boost you a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, a whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That whole point is worth a +1, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Sure is.
Exactly. So now it's +3. So
Pretty solid.
Okay.
even better.
And you've got
Thank
your
you.
reroll, and
Okay.
Avery mentioned that Zeke's got a point of effort he could spend helping you on a reroll as well.
All
She's an
right.
expert though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got.
Yeah, so she'll have a first reroll on this.
Wait, are we
I
doing the
really-
hack now?
She's trying to ask a question
Okay.
about whether or not the thing can be swapped out. Now, for this, she's going. She's connecting to the line shunt in the server room.
So for this one, I'm clicking program,
Yes.
0 modifier, submit,
Correct.
number of dice,
3D.
3 for
2d6 or
hacking.
3d6? 3d6, okay.
Yep.
Submit, attribute, intelligence, submit.
Mhm.
Oh my stuff.
Boom. And that's a
Alright,
below
she
average
made it.
roll. Just to tell you, that's a below average roll.
I was so nervous.
I know.
Like,
As you should
Okay.
be.
stop, Ben. Not needed.
Oh, you know he's merciless.
Oh, I live with him. What do you mean?
I know. Well, like I said, that's a below average roll, and you still made it.
Yay.
Yep.
All right. So the answer to your question is no, that gem cannot be hot swapped Indiana Jones style. The sensors are attuned to it specifically.
Hmm.
It was a good idea, though.
Thanks.
I wanted to do the whole balance the idol kind of thing.
I know. I was
That would have
like,
been
Ben just
Uh-huh.
doesn't want us to have fun.
fun.
Yeah.
He just wants us to get murderized.
So does that give
Revenge
us a better
from-
idea of what kind of sensor this is? It's like geo-fenced this object.
Yeah, potentially. It definitely gives you the sense that these sensors are very advanced. It's not just a motion sensor kind of thing.
Okay. Is there any way that Cherry, okay, so Cherry is going to sit back from her slab. She's got her thinking face on. Anyone who notices her thinking face is welcome to make fun of her thinking face. But is there any way that she could program a similar an item of similar size to give off like the same code or the same key
Ooh.
that could be swapped with it?
No, she would know there's no way.
Okay, so it's very advanced using a unique signature. Okay.
Yeah, she knows. She has some idea. They would have learned in school just some of the history of these kinds of things, that every AI core is an achievement, it's an achievement, months, usually even a year in the making, with the full, I guess, with the full resources of free tech society brought to bear. It's not something that she could spoof with a with a toaster oven and a data slab.
Wow.
Not that she would have tried that specifically, but
Well, come on. That's Ben. That's a toaster oven. What about a toaster? One is
No.
actually advanced. The other is just logs on a fire. Come on.
Not even a toaster.
Okay.
Amazingly.
That's a definitive answer then.
Do we have NFTs? Oh goodness.
I'm cringing, Ethan.
Could you put a spoiler on that?
Please.
What,
It
what did
hurts.
you
Spoiler on that.
do, Ethan?
Censor that. Jeez.
Keep-
Don't
Right.
even name it because we don't even need to give it anything.
Trying to give us all eye cancer.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is why censorship is important.
Where is it that you put spoilers on a thing? I can't even find it.
You can't do it to a picture that you've already posted.
Sadness.
It's okay, we just spammed it out of the.
Yep.
So anyway, back to the subject at hand. All right. Blah 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 blah.
Wait, so
Good.
now are we turning in for the night, or thought we were getting there?
Yeah, it sounds like we're ready to wind down towards that.
Does Cherry update Eva on her prep and the results of her own hack?
Um,
You guys are having too much fun with these gifs of people screwing stuff into their eyes.
so she would ask um Eva very sheepishly if he had some time.
Oh, of course. Always. I was just thinking that we should have a meeting, but then I remembered we don't have my planning board.
Oh no, I guess the meeting's canceled. What a shame.
Hmm. Don't tempt me to have one without a planning board, Bo.
Oh man.
Okay.
I think you could probably use the glass that you cut out of that glass wall.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Stop giving her ideas.
So
Anyway,
was Cherry
There's a
hoping
whole
to talk
bunch
to
of freaks
Eva?
I hadn't even called you yet, Barry.
Was Cherry planning to talk to Eva like right then, or was she gonna wait until Eva had fashioned up a planning board out of that glass?
um, I'm not sure.
Because
She
that
would
that
have just
wouldn't even
walked
take a
up. She
spare
would not
part.
have waited.
Okay, okay.
She would not have waited.
Then she has to pull Eva back
If
because Eva's immediately going to that glass. She has to snag Eva.
yeah, if he snaps at Cherry or calls her Barry again and is like telling her stop giving her ideas, blah 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 blah, blah is fussing at her. Cherry had a semi-serious look on her face and had seemed distracted when she suggested the cut piece of glass. And Bo starts snipping at her.
Mm.
She's gonna look at him with like a really dry face. And very seriously, she'll say to him, Anaguma shizuka ni shite kudasai, tanuki. And if he doesn't respond at all to that, she's not going to wait around to see if he responds to it, but she's going to turn straight to Eva and say, I really need you to focus.
Uh,
Like right now.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't think there's really any way that we can get that item without completely trying to sabotage the security units. And I'm not entirely sure if I'm capable of doing that.
Cherry, I know you're very serious right now, but this sounds like something that we should discuss over a proper meeting. So I'll give up the glass, I'll give up the planning board, but let's go meet with was this room big enough that we could have a meeting without Ms. Lloyd overhearing us?
Yeah, you can do that and
Cherry
speak
would have
quietly enough.
Okay.
Cherry would have wanted to avoid involving their benefactor in this conversation if
Okay,
she
so
could
she
have.
had already pulled Eva aside. And she says, let's pull Pete down and we'll get Zeke, and Bo has to join us too. This is
I really don't think it needs to be a group chat. You know what? Fine. Yeah, go ahead.
we should at least okay. Let's just go talk this with Pete then. He seemed invested in things too. In that thing. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Are you sure? Never seen you so serious, Cherry. Like you're on a sugar high, but the opposite.
She would look at Bo and stick her tongue out. And then she'd say, yeah, just as soon as I get this off my chest, we'll be fine.
Okay, let's go talk to Pete. I'll climb up the halfway up the tunnel to go sit with Pete. Well, Eva will sit. I don't know if Cherry's gonna sit here. Hmm. Pete, have you picked up
Huh?
anything on the radio?
Oh, yeah, a little bit, I think.
Is it all music or was there information? What did you get?
What did he get, GM?
Sorry, what did he
Almighty
get
GM from his radio
Just
scanning.
radio scanning.
Oh, okay, got you. Uh, yeah, let's see. Yeah, since he's closer to the surface up there. Um, yeah, I think he would have picked up some would have picked up some, I guess. Let's see, boy. You'd pick up some local news, and he would also he would have picked up some I think some like new age techno jazz and probably some very ancient classical music.
Not the number station that I posted.
Wait, um, what did you post?
Probably buried now, but it's that YouTube video with the red and blue rectangles.
Oh. um, let's see. Oh, this was in session chat.
Yeah, a ways back now.
Yeah, you would probably. I guess there would probably also be something that would be like a like rapid, like auditory binary kind of chatter. that would be essentially impossible for a human listener to process, but would be geared towards a bot, and that would be telling a slightly different version of the news
That makes sense.
with some extra denigration of the meat bags thrown in there.
I guess he'll shrug and say, "Yeah, so far mostly like some news, um, some really old music, and I don't know, some sort of weird jazz thingy.
Okay.
Not much good so far, but
Oh, they're playing the classics. Got any Led
uh,
Zeppelin in there?
I think it's classics older than the classics you're used to."
Did Bo join their meeting?
Hmm.
I thought he was wanting to avoid the meeting.
He's
Oh,
having a Japanese off now, apparently.
oh, we were actually going up to Pete. At least that's what I had said.
Yes, he followed along.
Okay. Okay. Well, then we don't want to leave Zeke out. So sorry, Daniel. I know Cherry just wanted to Eva, but Eva wanted to include Pete, and we got the whole team now. Ever does Zeke come along?
So we
Yep.
wake him up off his rock.
Yeah.
Nah, he wasn't like sleeping. He was just taking a break.
Yeah. Okay.
Just relaxing, maxing out, relaxing out, cool.
He just didn't have a b-ball or go to school.
Cherry, what did you find?
Oh, okay, awesome. So this is like a group presentation. Great. Um, Ben, did you check my message to you? My most recent one, you were kind of busy.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't pass over any important notes.
Yeah. Uh, there we go. Yeah, I think that's about.
All right, so she would walk up to the chunk of glass that Eva had rolled over, and she would um take the dry erase marker away from Eva very casually. And then she would ask Pete if he could lift up the piece of glass a little higher.
Yeah, sure. And he'll hold it for her.
All right. So once that's up about eye level, or at least writable level, um, she will uncap the pen and she'll say, I did some more digging into the system that is down there. And it turns out, a little unsurprisingly, that the pre-scream tech is very advanced. Um, so it turns out that the shiny floating rock has a very unique signature that is being keyed into the security system. And she's kind of drawing pictures um, as she goes. So there's a little diamond in the middle, and then she puts angry bot faces on either side, and then she puts little infinity loops in between the diamond and the bots. I would not be able to mimic this signature. It is like a fingerprint. However, what I might be able to do is very temporarily suppress both of the alarm systems that are active in the room. And she would also draw like a bell off to the side. And she's looking around to see if everyone's following. She doesn't look at Bo. So then she says, because there are two separate systems, I'd have to do it, I think, separately, but I think I would be able to suppress both alarms. So I would be able to suppress the klaxon, and that's where she'll X off the bell, and also the bots, which would have a silent alarm. Because if I just suppress the bots but don't suppress the klaxon, then the klaxon would wake up the bots anyway. And my last bit of thought here is that Zeke's teleportation may be our best bet for getting in and out quickly, but I can't make that choice for him.
Gotta be clear that I can't actually teleport with anyone else.
I know. She would look really serious.
That's not a risk you should have to take yourself, Zeke.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, he probably would remind Cherry that he did precognition a vision of him trying to get this stone and getting shot.
Can I ask, in your vision, what did you use to try and get the stone, though? Because your vision is just an iteration of that specific plan, not any and every plan, right?
I suppose I was using telekinesis to break the chamber. It was rather durable. That might be something that we need to factor into any change of plan we might have.
And in your vision, did you know about us being able to suppress any of the alarms?
I wasn't able to see that.
Well, then another option would be my palm drone might be able to, if we could hook up the little glass cutter that Eva was able to get together, that we might be able to, while the systems are suppressed, use my palm drone to cut into the glass. And then you could either attempt to teleport in and out once there's an opening, or we could attempt to use the drone to fly the rock back to us.
Before we think any more about how, Pete, you seemed very worried when you saw this. We need to hear your thoughts. I need to hear your thoughts.
Pete will glance at Cherry and then Eva and say, "It's related to AI, right?"
I mean, I've never seen one, but yeah, I think so.
Sarah Lloyd is.
It's either the backup or the housing for the main code.
Sarah Lloyd's not here, Ben.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, you guys are having a separate meeting. My bad.
Yep,
We went
separate
out of
meeting.
our way.
She is poking around in the dirt and playing with
She's
dead
having fun
bodies.
looting the bodies and
Yep,
Yeah.
loot the corpse. But it's related to the AI, right? So I'm worried that this is the whatever this AI world god thing is here. My concern is we really don't know how this stuff works. Do we touch it and it feels it? Do we steal it and then it feels it moving? Um it could be the backup, it could be the main. All I know is the power that that thing has, the control over and influence over every robot on this planet. Um like this planet will be after us if that thing is tied to that AI, right? Like if we leave too soon, it knows, right? I just don't know how, if we steal that, how we get away with it. Like I'm all for stealing it. Like don't get me wrong. I'm all for taking it and and being able to afford a planet. But how do we live? How do we live for the next 24 hours?
And remember, we don't get the full value of it. Did Sarah actually say 10% when she was talking to Eva? Or was that you just spitballing, Ben?
She said 10%.
Yeah. Ms. Lloyd's initial off-the-cuff offer was 10%. We won't buy a planet.
I mean, Pete will shrug at that and be like, it's still more money than I will ever have seen. But
Does
how do
seem
we
like
live long enough to spend it? That's what I'm worried about.
That
That's
is
my
an important
concern.
part of making money.
Okay.
That's all I'm worried about, Eva.
Cherry, do you know how we could travel with that thing? Does it send signals out to other places? Would we be running through the jungle?
Ben, what would she know about
Hmm.
how much time she would have to suppress the alarm system?
To suppress the alarm system? Oh, so she would want to, if she were planning to do that hack, she would do that before any attempt to mess with the the core itself, because the bot response in Zeke's vision was basically instantaneous. Like he
Here's what I'm
barely had
hearing
time to
from
register the audible alarm.
yeah. Here's what I'm hearing from what Ben has put down so far, and from what everybody has gotten. Uh, from Zeke's vision, we can get the thing out. Zeke's vision did not incorporate the knowledge that Cherry could hack or suppress. That Cherry could hack the system. Cherry can, with a reasonable degree of success, hack this system so that the bots don't immediately activate, and so that the klaxon, the alarm, does not sound. Doesn't mean that there won't be any signal. It just means that the bots don't immediately activate and that there's no audible or sub-audible alarm issuing forth from this system. I think if we're guessing, that gives us some time to try and get back to the ship, but I don't know if it gives us 3 or 4 hours to get back to the ship.
Exactly.
So, information we need is, can we bring the ship to us in preparation to execute the plan? Could we hover it without drawing too much attention? long enough for Cherry to hack, run out to the ship. Zeke and either Pete or Bo open the casing, and whoever is with Zeke start running out, and Zeke teleport with it. A fast runner should be with Zeke. Actually, well, no, we don't want to leave Sarah alone with Zeke just in case she does decide to double cross. No, she needs our ship. She needs our ship. That does come to one other question of is there a non-telekinetic way of cracking that casing that wouldn't alert the boss? I'm thinking probably we're relying a lot on Zeke's psychic abilities here.
So I'll chime in here a little bit. With Zeke's vision, it was a fairly specific scenario that I'll just say his vision did not incorporate teleportation, and it did not incorporate any sort of hacking going on.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the hovering, I'd say that you know that you could fly the ship over and have it low enough that you could let down a rope or whatever to get people up. There wasn't really a good clear space.
Oh, that actually answers a lot of my questions. So we couldn't land nearer because there was no space to land, not because of like the boss or the planetary system being like, "Yo, don't go there."
Right. Yeah,
Okay,
as far as you guys could tell, this area is kind of off the beaten path.
that's much better.
Yeah. But yeah, the let's see, the only trick with I guess whoever you send to go fly the ship back and have on board there, if then you have Cherry down in the server room doing the hack, Zeke nearby, you're kind of splitting the group in the event of something going wrong.
True, true.
I think that's about all the input I think I need to give to that response.
So it might just be reposition the ship and then have everybody on hand.
We can't though. We can't land the ship here.
Oh, we can't land the ship.
Right.
Yep.
And
At best, we could shorten the distance, maybe.
There was a question. I think I think Danielle was getting at a slightly different question than what she ended up explicitly asking.
Right.
Because I was trying to clarify, and then I gave a gap and got the conversation went off in a different direction.
I'm sorry.
Danielle, I think you were trying
I'm
to
so
ask.
lost right now that I don't even know what my question was to begin with.
Oh no, I think you were asking about how long you would have, you know, before the core or whatever started sending signals elsewhere on the planet.
They say, help, I'm being kidnapped.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I was asking that too.
Yeah, so there, I think I was also kind of thinking about what Cherry would know. Cherry doesn't know anything about the capabilities of the core itself to transmit signals, and obviously she does know it would depend a lot on whether it's the secondary, like the backup core versus the primary core. Because because the primary core is able to interface with stuff and is the main consciousness. The backup, as far as she knows, is more or less just chilling, waiting for the primary half to get smashed.
Hypothetical question for the party here. Would we be open to skipping to tomorrow or moving forward to tomorrow?
Yes.
To just ask the question, how will this go?
Yeah, I think, assuming that you have a significantly different enough scenario to ask about, I'm willing to grant another oracle. There's a limitation about until the situation changes substantially or a week goes by, and I'd say I think the way you phrase it could certainly be a substantial change of the situation.
Would we have to wait until tomorrow, or could Zeke do that right now?
Oh, I guess he could do it right now. He's still got his one effort left, right?
hmm This might be a before you go to bed kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
would be great to use it
Yeah,
before.
With our updated plan, essentially, or how do I want to phrase this? We actually prepare and follow through with the plan that we've discussed up until this point. Is it likely to end with Zeke dying? That's probably how you would ask it.
Asking the real questions.
So he's asking, what happens if Cherry suppresses the alarm or the alarms and Zeke tries to teleport the gemstone out?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. All right, then I think most relevant minute up to a week in the future.
Us celebrating our fully repaired ship. Boom, nailed it.
I don't know that I trust that laugh, Dex.
Man, you guys read too much into my mind. I will say in the session chat, that face that I forget the guy's name, but the guy from SNL, that character he plays in those like game shows. Oh my goodness. There's something about that face that just it's I feel that like I think that way sometimes. I don't know.
I think we can resolve the credibility of your different laughs with one simple question. Danielle, does Ben ever practice laughing?
He doesn't practice it. He's already a master at it. You're talking about a man who literally, when we go on like cave tours, at that very bottom part of the cave where they take the whole group and then they're like, now we're going to turn off the lights so you can see the utter darkness of existential dread with, small children and everything present.
Yeah, of
They
course.
turn off the lights, and that's the exact moment that Ben decides to do his evil laughter.
That's the perfect time.
Sounds right.
We need to go caving.
Oh my word.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I guilty as charged. I will admit
He's like,
I have
you know what sounds great right now? Trauma bonding these children.
I have also resisted the urge when my wife specifically requested that I not do it.
Or
Oh,
when
I
I
guess
punch
you
him in
should
the gut.
clap you on the back, huh?
Yes, please.
That's fantastic. You've done something you shouldn't do. You've not done something you shouldn't do when told not to do something you shouldn't do. Congratulations.
Right.
Oh boy. Okay. Um. Yeah. So I think, given, yeah. So this is an interesting one. So I guess I'm just going to say this before I give the vision. In general, I'm gonna I'm gonna usually try to err on the side of giving a more I'm trying to say a more likely outcome and not, go too far into scenarios that rely on a lot of other variables that aren't accounted for. So like, for example, a week out, it gets to the point where in this particular situation, there's a lot of different stuff that could or couldn't happen, that's dependent on other people. So I'm going to say that the vision Zeke gets is of himself sitting in the kind of the little cafeteria, the little break room essentially of the ship, where they fix and eat their meals, with everyone else sitting around the table, including Miss Lloyd, and everyone with their drink of choice in hand, and the soft, softly glowing gemstone sitting on the middle of the table, gently refracting the light.
Hmm.
All smiles, and Miss Lloyd is giving a toast, something about ingenuity and daring do, and all being uh, what would the phrase be that she used? Probably filthy rich in the near future.
Been padding this out for 60 seconds so that at the 61-second mark, the robot can fire.
No, see that would be more relevant. Uh, no,
Best Zeke can remember from his vision is everyone present, and do they have all of their appendages?
it's like, wait, Bo isn't there, and why is Sherry got a robotic hand? No, no. Everybody is there, and seemingly of whatever, in full health, good health.
Well,
Zeke? Oh no, did the vision kill him?
that's not how that works, son.
Ball snap beside his ear.
Should we splash water on him? Does anybody have any water?
He will say, nope, fresh out. He
Is
never
Zeke,
had water.
Yeah.
You don't keep
is he
antifreeze in
pulling up?
there or something?
Is he playing up the trance?
Did we just
I think
lose
that's a
Avery?
yes.
I think we might have lost Avery. Avery, did
That's
you mute yourself or step
hilarious.
away?
I did.
Oh,
I was wondering because I was like, he doesn't look muted. How do we lose him?
Physical mute.
Yep.
No, he I don't think he's gonna play up these visions, take them for like the quick snap vision that it's
Okay,
intended
okay.
to be.
That so Raven kind of visions.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna basically share that ultimately he thinks that these change in plans could work. and that we should go get a rest.
Okay. I think Miss Lloyd is going to be overjoyed.
And on that note, too, he probably would say, knowing that this may work, we should probably negotiate for more money.
Oh, we will. Cherry, you come with me?
I think you might want to take Pete for this one.
Who did she say to take?
Pete. I mean, I can come too, but I think you should also take Pete.
Me?
Okay. Because he's been a mercenary and knows how to talk to them?
She'll look Pete up and down. I think he provides the correct aesthetic we need.
Now Pete's kind of looking at
does-
himself like, huh.
Pete is not an accessory, but I get what you're saying.
Is Bo an accessory?
Ew, no.
Kinda.
What?
He would serve the same purpose. But I prefer Pete. No offense, Bo.
Bo just
Oh, y'all
upsets
can't
Miss
afford
Lloyd
me as an
anyways.
accessory.
Okay.
Did you get that from one of your new novels, Bo?
What novels? I hadn't been reading any.
I know. Your illiteracy is almost contagious.
No, Cherry, I will get you some books on reading. You have to keep
Cherry
reading.
is going to give her a very deadpan look and say, Pete, are you coming with us? Please say yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get you hooked on Pahonix yet.
Bo, that is not how any of those words are said, except for on. You said that correctly. Okay.
That's going in quotes.
Behind Eva's back, as she's talking to Bo, Cherry would just do a very animated, rude gesture to Bo.
Okay, let's go tell Miss Lloyd the good news.
She'd cap the pen and hand it to Eva.
You did
Sounds
very
great.
good with this.
Thanks.
And I love your presentation. I'm keeping it. Takes the glass with her.
You don't have to do that. You could take a picture. That's fine.
No. Eva's got her thick leather work gloves on. She's carrying the glass along with her.
Oh my word.
Hear a shatter halfway down the trail.
All right, we go talk to Sarah.
We relay the plan.
Not
Or
quite
we
yet.
don't relay the plan. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Eva wants to open with
Yeah, let me know when you want Cherry to take over, but you gotta prime it.
Yeah, no problem. Miss Lloyd, I have sat down and discussed with our team what prospects and options are available for you to consider. If you're done with that dead guy for a minute, or can step away from him.
You're not going anywhere.
Has Ben muted himself now?
Sorry, come again. You're looking for a response from Sarah after
Oh my
having relayed the
goodness.
plan.
Like talking to a 3-year-old.
Danielle says that every day.
No, I do not. Excuse you.
Okay.
Anti-air turrets are multiplying.
So we go down and
And
we
that's another warbot that pops out of the floor.
I
Just
thought there were
one.
only 5. Look, looks like there's 7.
They're Matryoshka bots.
we
I had to take the snipe. Sorry.
we go down and talk to Miss Lloyd and try to pull her away from whatever dead body she's exhuming.
Okay, yeah, you can get her attention away, especially if you're talking about your plans for extracting the gemstone.
No, you missed the intro, the preamble. It went something like, well, Eva basically just said that she's talked to the team and have options to present for her consideration.
Okay, yeah, she's willing to listen to those options.
Okay. Without going unnecessarily detailed into them, because you know what they are. Eva will outline the security concerns, making clear that these are pre-tech bots and that we do not have pre-tech hacking technology. However, we have an expert hacker who can keep them at bay for some unknown amount of time, as well as prevent the alarm from ringing throughout the facility. However, um, we will need to make that our last action because we will need to be leaving immediately after taking it. Um, and basically tell her that we're offering to let her close up whatever else she wants to do here at the facility without doing that for the fee that has already been discussed, that's already been agreed upon. Or if she decides that she does want to pursue that shard, then uh, she'll and at this point, Eva turns over to Cherry for negotiations on a reasonable contract for the risk to life and to ship, as well as the possibility that we will never be able to return here with our ship. And don't know what you
Okay.
want Danielle to do for making those negotiations.
So, are you trying to get more than the 10% she had mentioned already?
She threw that out as a initial offer, and I don't think we're trying to necessarily. We're not trying to put a hard no if she won't give us more, but we are asking for more in consideration of the considerable risk as well as the potential lockout of this planet. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, basically say that hey, the 10% was a fine starting point, and leave it to Cherry's silvered words to get her to sweeten the deal for the risks that we're taking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, let me think.
Sorry if I ran over you on that, Daniel. I meant to just kind of cut it over to you, but then I went out of character into narration mode and kind of just ran over it all.
Got carried away.
Got carried away. Yeah. Also, you are muted, Daniel, if you're speaking.
Yeah. If you, Danielle, if you would like to do some in character as Cherry, that'd be fine. I'm also fine if you just want to make a roll. I'm going to ask at least one roll regardless.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't think that she would feel the need to Well, I don't feel the need to do much in character because we're already at 10:46. So
Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to uh, ask her for a bit more than 10%, considering the risk to life and limb and all the extra effort.
Just a
All right.
question. Do we want to
Mhm.
ask for something more grandiose, like equal shares
No,
to
I
get
don't think
together
she'll
and
go
then
for
see
that.
it go back down to something larger than we may be willing to ask for? The salesperson in me just wants to go for no.
You're saying go for something she'll say no to and then work back from there?
Uh,
Well, like it's a tactic in sales, right? Where your objective is to get people to say no so that they'll compromise at like their highest possible point.
Hmm. Okay. Guess I don't know too much about sales.
Yeah, it just doesn't fit in with how RPGs do negotiations, which is why it's typically not done in them. You roll, you fail, you whatever.
yeah, kinda.
Yeah, no. Like I understand the urge.
It was a thought.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely intrigued me. I'll have to look that up later, see what that's all about. Um, but yeah, it sounds like for now, Cherry's going with she's trying to go for a bit of a safer increase to the ask. Is that the impression I'm getting?
yeah,
Okay. Then yeah, go ahead and give me a talk check
Could I
with
assist with some kind of check for Eva's part in this?
hmm. Yeah.
Oh wow, I don't
I
think
What
it's
don't need your
necessary.
help.
do you think she would oh.
If Eva started to open her mouth, Cherry Cherry would have sort of sidestepped in front of her.
No, this would. I'm not trying to ask if Eva can actually, like a duo with Cherry. I'm just trying to see if I can get a bonus for what Eva's already said for leading up to
Hmm.
Cherry.
Got you.
But that's fine. I'm not too
Yeah.
worried about it.
Yeah. I don't know if that intro would have done too much, but it looks like Cherry navigates the subject pretty charismatically and deftly, and uh, she goes back and forth with Miss Lloyd for several minutes. Miss Lloyd argues the fact that, um, to begin with, the expedition was an open-ended ask. It wasn't the pay she'd offered wasn't contingent on a certain level of success or lack thereof. So by offering her 10%, she was already being generous uh, to even volunteer extra payment. But Cherry works her around just the extraordinary nature of the find and the unexpected uh, scope of it, and the fact that there's a huge unknown in terms of how much danger they're actually undertaking, and that could last far beyond the immediate you know theft of the object, um, and you know knocking over a couple other objections that Miss Lloyd has, though in a respectful and very reasonable way. soon enough, Miss Lloyd is only somewhat begrudgingly willing to admit that 10%. Oops, who did we just lose? We lost Ethan.
Ethan. Yeah.
That she's willing to admit that 10% is fairly low, considering that, especially once the plan is laid out and it's made clear that this is going to involve, some a variety of skills and definitely some personal danger to a couple particular members of the crew. And so yeah, she is willing with that level of persuasion to come up to 20%.
Nice. A lot more than I
Nice.
was expecting.
I
So
take it.
that is the offer she has on the table. What does Cherry say to that? Or
She'll
I
take
guess
it.
Eva,
She'll say,
either of
"Pleasure doing business with you."
them. All right. So everyone can settle in for a good night's rest. Um, and
I do like that she brings back the hey, you know what you're signing up for, even after we already said, hey, we signed up for this, and this is as far as we're willing to go.
yeah, because from her, as far as she's concerned, it's not like there was a spelled out list of whatever, like, job responsibilities or anything.
No,
It was
that's
a
totally fair, but
yeah.
she had also said in a previous, I can't remember if it was last time or the time before that, that if we decided that that was too dangerous, then she would, uh, to tell her, and that's the end of our services.
Oh, got you.
So it's like, yeah, this is already outside of, like, by saying you can either just fiddle around here and then we'll leave safely, or we can do this. We're already establishing that this is our services. The fiddling around and then leaving safely is what we were paid for. That thing over there, that's a new contract.
Mm.
But it worked out. So I just found her returning to that amusing.
Yeah, I got you. Well, yeah, I think without any complication or extra sidebars, I think we can go ahead and fast forward a bit through a good night's sleep and through the a bit of time the next day. Lloyd uh, has she's got 4 body bags that are all I guess rigged up for Carrie to take, and Cherry's still testing the limits of Bo's Japanese.
It's all right. You
Uh,
can jump to the next morning. She would have sent it and gone to bed.
okay. Um. All right, then. Yeah, there'd be some time the next day for just scrounging around. Um. considering what else there is that can be salvaged or scrapped from the place. Um, and who is going to go? It sounded like you guys wanted to send somebody to go get the ship and fly it back over.
Well,
Wait, Pete is capable of flying it?
there was some pretty heavy hinting from the GM that we shouldn't split the party that much.
Yep.
No, I mean, I guess I wasn't trying to. I guess I wanted to remind everybody that that was going to be a split it. I guess because Ethan wasn't. Ethan, maybe some other people weren't 100% clear on the fact that someone would have to stay out there with the ship and hover it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, Eva does have Pilot Zero, so if we're not opposed to splitting the party, someone could go back with Eva just so that we're traveling in pairs. We'll set out early in the morning so that our plan can be enacted quickly at the beginning of the day, unless Ms. Lloyd wants more time. Um, and fly back, let whoever walked back with Eva, um, you know, rappel down the line or whatever it is that we're using to get people in and out of a hovering ship.
Probably Pete who goes back.
Yeah, I figured.
and not that it makes a massive difference because you guys aren't in uh, under any apparent like major time pressure, but you will have to wait a decent portion of the next day just to let the system cool down before Cherry
Right.
tries hacking in again.
Okay, then we
Um,
wouldn't want to go back early in the morning. We'll go back at an appropriate time to start things. And in fact, you know what? Taking off in the night is probably better anyways. Less visibility.
mhm.
Yeah.
All right, so let me see here. Okay, so yeah, Miss Lloyd has she's bundled up uh, the scraps that I guess the scrap that Zeke brought back from the bottom of that chasm, and some other odds and ends, bits that got dug up in the rubble, as well as the much more carefully packed and padded the pre-tech data slab that Eva had found. And she's ready to go. So for the plan, where would you like her and Carrie to be? And what would you like them to do? She's willing to consider whatever role she needs to play in this extraction.
Well, we're planning on having Zeke do teleporting out just for safety, right?
Hmm.
So, how fast was Carrie?
She's a bit slower than any
Okay.
of you.
Then let's get Carrie up in the ship. Especially since I don't think we have. Do we have anything? Oh, you know what? Eva can probably make a proper ladder before they get here, right?
A ladder for where?
To get up into the ship,
Uh,
like a rope
uh,
ladder.
oh, a rope ladder? Yeah, probably so.
Okay. Just so that it's not, just climbing a rope up into the ship. Unless she's able to
Yeah.
hover it low enough that they could just climb into it, but from your description, I don't think so.
No, no, it's definitely going to require some rope.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll, I think Zeke, so Cherry doing the hacking, obviously, um, and once the hacking is done, Cherry and Bo leave and they come back to the ship. Carrie has already come back to the ship because she's going to need to be winched up. And Pete with Zeke, just so that if there is any trouble, Pete can try and help Zeke get out of it. At least the immediate, but remember that Zeke can teleport, so it really is just if he gets knocked unconscious. If he gets to teleport, you run.
Okay.
Any objections to the plan?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
And so
Pull the trigger.
the
Ooh,
just to
I'm sorry.
clarify, are you guys having
I
are you
was
having Carrie
thinking.
try to? Oh,
I was thinking Zeke might take a quick jump to the elevator shaft and then like focus on a longer jump out. Would that be a feasible route out in 100-meter jump? Like he could do a 10, possibly then 100.
let's see. Hmm. Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, he could do that. So now, are you guys wanting to have Cherry try to suppress the bots and the alarm?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Both.
Okay.
In that order.
All
Yep.
right.
Bots
Yeah.
first.
Bots first, then the alarm. And so just to be clear, so I was messaging with her a little bit on the side, clarifying some stuff. Um, you guys have the equipment available. She could do this from outside the room, running a connection into it, so that she doesn't have to be in the room with Zeke and the bots. Now, where did we say Pete is going to be?
Pete is watching Zeke to make sure. Pete is watching Zeke with Miss Lloyd. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to declare where Miss Lloyd should be. She can be in whichever part of this she wants. So, of our party, Pete is watching Zeke do his thing, just on the off chance that something knocks him out. If nothing knocks him out, then he's teleporting and Pete's running.
Yep.
I mean,
Okay.
I feel like if anything knocks him out, he's dead.
That's why Pete's there to try and recover him.
Yep. Pete
Do we have
has.
any meds? It had struck me once we got to the planet that none of us have biosonics.
I think Pete may have a Lazarus patch, but I haven't looked at that on the character sheet.
We're gonna have to start investing in those.
Yep,
But
Pete has a
it's-
Lazarus patch. We're good.
Okay,
We
good.
got too spoiled with Saoirse being able to throw heals around.
We
Mhm.
did.
I will point out that Pete also does not have the heal skill whatsoever.
That's okay.
Isn't a Lazarus patch kind of automatic though?
The
I think
difficulty
that one
6
is
heal
a
check.
roll.
Zeke got
So
11
good.
hit points. I mean, if one of these things sneezes on him, he's down.
11. Man. I guess we're all still pretty squishy at this stage, but that's still very squishy.
I mean, he rolled all ones and twos on hit points.
Yeah,
Oof.
it is extra. That is extra squishy for level 4.
Yep.
All right, so
Wishing good to catch up.
just to be very clear, Pete is inside the server room and the door is currently propped open.
Yes, Pete is just inside the door. The door is wedged open so that it can't close on him. And Pete is near enough to Zeke that he could reach him in a real quick action. But also far enough away that he can put some distance as soon as Zeke safely teleports.
Okay.
Now,
I don't
are
know,
we
is that
okay
really?
with Pete being the only one there?
I was actually gonna say I wonder if anyone needs to be there. Right? Like if we want a swift exit.
I don't mind Pete coming back once all the hacking is done and leaving Zeke alone, but that
I
there
see. So only for the hack. That makes sense.
the worry that I have is, well, okay, so we've seen you've seen the vision. I guess maybe I'm being overly cautious. If you trust the vision, then we don't need Pete there. The reason I'm being overly cautious is, what if there were something that did 2d8 damage to Zeke by activating just by touching the thing, and it rolled a 16. Now Zeke's unconscious on the floor, dying out with an artifact, and nobody knows about it. That's
Mhm.
that's the situation that I would want to avoid by having somebody there. But I'm being overly cautious. We've seen your vision. Well, you've seen your vision. Um,
Yeah, I will say that that is a fair concern. The vision is likely, but it is not a guarantee that no matter what, that will happen.
Yeah.
okay. I'm
Pete would
leaving.
not mind being there.
Okay, great. I'm leaving Pete in step 5 there.
Ooh, we have a step-by-step.
Yeah, I figured it was complex enough that you'd probably appreciate seeing exactly so you can refer back.
Oh, yeah. All right, then. Um, yeah, let's see. It's 10 after. I think we definitely got time to kick it off. I think I saw somebody comment somewhere wondering if we should try it right now. But
Was a
oh, that was
reasonable
Anthony.
Zeke.
If the GM thinks that we can do it, I'm all for it, and start the next session with the victory lap or victory dance or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, worst case, we in on another cliffhanger,
That is the worst case.
and I'm always
Yes.
up for that.
Yes, you are.
It's just it's just too much fun. It's like just my favorite way to build anticipation for the next session. Anyway, okay, so plan kicks into motion. So Eva goes and
Oh
goes
yeah,
and brings the ship.
0 is
Um,
Eva and Pete go to the ship.
okay, gotcha. Yeah, so before coming back, she does go ahead and build the rope ladder and winch. I'm gonna say that costs her. See, I'm just now noticing the winch part of that too. Um,
Unless there's some
I'm
other
gonna.
way of getting carry up.
No, I mean, I think it. I mean, rope ladder. You do know that she's not a particularly like dexterous bot, so there is some question about how easily she would be able to climb a rope ladder.
Can she come back with Eva and Pete? Because I really don't want to spend more money on getting her up.
Yeah, she could do that.
Okay.
And that would yeah, because the winch would cost some spare parts.
And you know what?
Um,
Maybe if she's okay with it, maybe Miss Lloyd can just come back with them and be in the hovering ship.
yeah, she's definitely okay with that. She
Okay.
thinks, given the plan, she'll be more helpful being with the ones wandering through the wilderness and bringing the ship back.
Okay.
Um,
Hashtag out of the way.
right. Um, okay. So I think we've got a solid path forward here. Um, So we've got a nice little trek through the forest, uh, getting rained on, and the
We
the little the disguises, fortunately, serving now kind of a dual purpose because these things are fairly weatherproof. Um, so helping keep off the worst of the wet and the wind.
nice. We
But
appreciate it.
then they make it back to the ship with a few hours of trekking and get the rope ladder worked up with whatever rope
Even
is
can probably make that while Pete's flying the ship back.
all right. Um, yeah, more or less. And is this like just basic rope or is this like high tech rope?
Well, we have 300 credits of miscellaneous survival gear, supplies, and rations.
Okay.
What would you say that constitutes?
Hmm. Let's see.
Is this consuming it? Because I bought some of that fancy rope.
Oh, did you buy some of that?
Mm-hmm. I bought 20 meters of the fancy rope.
Okay. I'd say that could go towards it. It wouldn't have to get consumed. It's gonna need a couple. I'd say one. What will come? We'll bring the. Sorry, we'll take the consumed part that's gonna have to be used for the actual steps of the ladder out of the miscellaneous funds, and say that yeah, you can get enough rope between what Bo had and the funds to cover a high tech rope ladder.
Okay.
That way it'll be sturdy enough and light enough to hold whatever and whoever. Okay. So step 1 is done. Step 2 is done. Pete can make his way down the nice new rope ladder, down the I'm gonna say it's about a 20-meter drop to stay above stay high enough that you're not running into any the trees and the rock around. Um,
So sorry, Cherry.
She's huffing and puffing.
Yeah, that means that she's going to be doing a 20-meter climb.
mhm.
Listen, I'm able to suspend a lot of my disbelief to play this game. I can't suspend it enough for me to play a physically fit and capable person.
Fortunately, she might be the last one, so they can always just pull the rope ladder up part of the way
True.
with her on it. um, all right, so
Yeah, that's what happens to the last one. Definitely.
it is. Yeah. All right. Well, it is time for the hacking.
Okay.
Leak is there, so you've got an extra reroll if you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
Okay. All right.
yeah, so Cherry is standing out there in the main chamber with data slab in hand, prepared portion of the hack ready to queue up, and
Okay, so it's program 3d6
mhm.
intelligence.
Yep. All right.
Damn.
With some rapid
Crushed it.
rapid typing and just perhaps one bead of sweat running down her brow. She, within moments, gets the indicator that she has uh, suppressed the bot response within the system, and the line shunt is bolstering and maintaining that hack. Now it's time for the alarm, and as she slightly adjusts her hack, given the heightened defensive posture of the system. Cue up another one.
Okay, she's gonna wipe her sweaty palms on her sleeves and then pick her tablet back up off the ground.
Okay. Oh, now with getting the glass, were you guys using the glass cutting tools to open that up?
We can. I think we kind of glossed over it because we just assumed
Yeah.
that Zeke would be able to telekinesis his way through. But I did,
Mhm.
yeah, I did mention that Eva could probably look at the display and see if there's something that she could do with, cutting the glass or whatever.
Yeah, as in this case, it doesn't make a huge difference. Just flavor-wise, if it's got a clean-cut little hole for him to reach through, or if he's smashing it.
Okay, then yeah, she could have probably put together like a little suction cup with an arm and a glass cutter just to make it real easy for she thinks everyone's not technically inclined,
Mhm.
so make it real
Yeah,
easy for him to cut through and pull that slice of glass off.
yeah. She wouldn't want to risk him cutting it funny and cutting himself on it when he reaches through. So
Yeah, that's
she gives
always a
him
risk when you're dealing with people who don't know technology.
exactly.
So yeah, that works.
All right. So we got all right. So time. Oh, already rolled the second hack. Well, boom, nailed a 12. So the second hack is also successful, and now both the silent and the audible alarms are suppressed.
Woo! Go Cherry.
So her work here is done, and she can she and Bo can make a run for it. And is Pete staying behind, or is he also going ahead and getting out?
I mean, he'll get to a distance, so he gets at least a running head start once Zeke disappears.
Okay.
He's got a
At
decent
this point.
exert. He can run.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to check, like, is he staying in the room, or is he going ahead and heading out with the others, or is he somewhere in between?
I mean, he's in between. He can see where Zeke's going, but he's ready to like take off at a run to get out.
Okay. Alrighty then. With Cherry and Bo uh, having waited long enough for Cherry and Bo to get out, they've climbed out the up the rope to get out of the building itself, and they've gotten out of the cave and are starting up the rope ladder. Um, it's time for Zeke to do his thing.
So this is where he starts cranking to cut the hole in the glass.
All right, and smoothly and almost effortlessly, in just a few seconds, he comes away with a circle of glass and attached to the tool. You can set that aside.
Alright, well, with a single fist, maybe hesitates for just a moment and snaps his hand around this stone while trying to, as instantaneously as possible, make a swift jump into the narrow uh, room that we had opened last session, the elevator.
Okay. So he disappears. So Pete sees him vanish.
Well, then Pete takes off.
All right. Go ahead and roll initiative for me, Pete.
That was fast.
Hmm.
Had to look for it for a second.
It's been a
Okay.
while.
All right. So he goes dashing, and he's able to make it all the way across the room. Over the lower parts of the rubble and stuff, and through the far doorway. I guess he kicks the thing propping the door open out of the way.
Yep. Not that it'll stop him, but still.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then, so he's moving at his quickest pace. Zeke is then using an point of effort to teleport from the little shaft, the top of the shaft, to as far out of the cavern, up the tunnel as he can.
I guess that's a question of, if you would notice that Zeke is in imminent danger, or not.
Oh,
If there
or
would be no
whether Pete.
consequence to him, I'm sorry, Pete. If there would be no consequence to him, like making sure that he makes it out of this room, because I don't think we actually fully opened.
No, as far as you can tell, nothing happened in the moments since he's teleported out.
All right, then yeah, he's gone.
Okay. And so Pete continues booking it. Go ahead and give me an exert check for Pete. Either strength or dexterity would work.
think, yeah, they're both even.
Okay. All right. So he manages to scale the rope, getting him out of the building and into the cavern with ease.
He would pull the rope back up with him.
Nice. So dislodges the climbing gear and everything, which is good since you guys
Why
want
make it easy? I'm sure they have rocket boots or something, but I'll give him something to climb.
All right. So then you get Pete's storming his way out of the cavern, up the tunnel, and everyone else. I guess then everyone is kind of maybe around the opening of the cargo bay, looking out as Pete comes dashing out of the mouth of the tunnel and to the rope ladder and starts climbing it hand over fist.
He's
Eva
probably yelling, "Hit it!" while
Eva
climbing.
at some point pushed a void carbine into Bo's hand and told him to watch out for bots other than Pete that may be coming. Yeah.
All right.
Just hang out the airlock and watch. Be our side gunner.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. Yeah, Pete's most of the way up the ladder. He's yelling, "Hit it!" as he comes up.
Okay. Eva will start moving the ship away from this thing. She's going to be careful not to make any jerky motions, which means she's going to rely more on the computer assist than her control of a flight stick because, you know, Eva. She's not
Yeah,
graceful.
makes sense. All right, and then you guys make ascend effortlessly, and Pete is able to hold on to the rope and finish climbing up into the cargo bay as you gain altitude and can pull that all up. Um, as you get to the point where you really can barely make out anything at the ground level, guess if it's Bo that was keeping watch, he would notice some just some movement in the trees, um, a little ways off away from the cavern entirely, and see the little glint of metal.
Well, them trees are talking.
Let's go.
And without further ado, you blast off towards the upper atmosphere and into orbit.
All
And,
right.
I think, and this is Sarah Lloyd, of course, goes to double check that the little authenticator that she had around her neck is still hooked up properly and configured in the ship's transponder as it needed to be, and does the kind of the digital handshake with orbital uh, whatever kind of traffic control system as she does. And once she's done, she turns and gives a thumbs up. I think we're in the clear. Everything checked out again. No change in our status.
Pete will glance at her and say, "Be careful if you try to use that next time."
Yes, for sure. Assuming there is a next time.
I think you could retire off this.
With a huge grin, she says, "I certainly hope so. I can't say I'll miss this godforsaken rock."
Hmm.
And yeah, she'll settle in, settle back on her haunches for a moment before standing up, brushing her hands off, saying, "Well, I don't know about anyone else, but I could really go for a drink."
That's the name of the
Did you bring anything with you for that? What'd you say?
The pitch meeting guy. That's the name of the movie.
Oh, I love that guy. So yeah, anyone who's not opposed, Sarah would go and want to break out some drinks to celebrate the escape and their ascension from atmosphere to low orbit and beyond.
Pete can't drink, so he's probably
End
just
scene.
in the cockpit on watch.
You can drink motor oil.
Yeah, they make
Once it's high enough proof, it's machine drinkable.
let's see. They'd make some sort of cocktail of you know coolant and lubricant that
Pure ethanol.
would be filtered by the robot systems to go and be distributed to the appropriate systems so that they can basically be doing some minor maintenance in the with the humanoid kind of analog to drinking. All right, Danielle, did you want to do that live right now, or you want to save that for later?
You can save it for later.
All right. Oh, my jaw. Ow. Got a little pop. Okay, so you guys are accelerating off towards the edge of the system. Um, presuming Ms. Lloyd's goal is to get out of system as soon as possible.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's Steve's
Assume
goal
there are
too.
no objections.
No.
Okay. Good deal then. So yeah, the next destination is the edge of the edge of the system, so you can perform a spike drill out. And I guess everybody's settling in for the journey through deep space. I believe Robert, did you have something Pete wanted to tinker with, I think?
Yeah, he probably was downloading songs on the way out.
Yeah, tapping the radio waves and
Yep.
looking for whatever he could get.
Yeah, finding what's new. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think he'd pick up a good little variety there. He's, especially being up in orbit, he's able to scan broader range of the waves.
Did anything come over my mic there? Because I think it all got filtered. Okay, hang on. Chris, thank you. I can't stream audio from my computer, so.
I got you.
I don't think it's. Is that audio about? Well,
it is cutting out a
What
bit.
is that?
Do you have a link to it that you can post? That might.
Yeah, I do.
Be better.
It was supposed to come straight over.
Oh,
unless Dex can like stream it over audio real fast.
Yeah, I can. All right, playing now.
Oh, Saoirse, why'd you become the one for me? When we met, I was running into obscurity, and your spaceship whisked me away. We argue daily, you angsty red-haired devil.
Working on that prank a while. Oh well, I need to
my
figure out
short Irish robe, tongue lashing in unclear brogue. I knew of your thieving ways ever since you stole a dagger. But why did you steal my heart? After all we've been through,
it's a prank.
I was always the one who'd run. So when we made truce, Our fighting was
It's a
no
prank breakup song.
use. Since when would you stab my back
Oh my.
and take off back into the black?
Yeah, I love you.
Only the real ones.
If you click it, Danielle, there's actually lyrics to it at the moment. But
A
it
prank
actually generated
breakup
really
song.
good.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, if you go to the link, it's got the whole
It's-
song spelled out.
Yeah.
You angsty red-haired devil.
Oh, I wrote the lyrics myself. That was not AI.
So the AI did the music?
Yep.
And the
Turned
singing.
it into
Yeah.
music.
That's actually really cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with Udio you can actually do your own lyrics.
There you go. I did
Oh,
link
man.
I did post a link in Roll20, so should anybody come back to this later and is wondering what the heck we were talking about and what was that music, they can
Yeah.
they can type it into
I
their...
never thought the war hero could run. Jeez, this is lashing.
Oh, you should listen to it. It's great.
Oh man. Yeah, well, I guess
Andrew will
lesson
tell you
learned.
I was howling too
How
much.
many points did you put?
Yes.
I just threw my phone. Oh.
There's a lot. There's quite a lot in those lyrics. So many
Yup.
references.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we're gonna need to like put the lyrics in quotes or something. We can have it for posterity.
I mean, just
for
paste the
ourselves.
link.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
saved it.
Now I have to
Yeah, I guess
listen to the song. Oh
yeah,
my
we can
goodness.
definitely
Reading
do
that
this
was worth
at
it. Oh
least.
my goodness.
There's the,
There's some parts that with the music too really slap.
Yeah.
I did go ahead and pin that message.
Oh my word.
Oh boy. Well, note to self: we'll have to practice more in the future if we want to do some live audio. But
What
that was
in the world?
it's a good little
Yeah, apparently Discord was purging bots that did playing of music. So, and I didn't have a ton of time to set up tests. So I was
Ooh,
trying to
yeah.
figure it out, but streaming an application just audio was getting a little funky. So,
Yeah. I was gonna say I actually think there's a way I could do it with voice meter, but I haven't fiddled a lot with voice meter.
Oh
So
man. So I was telling Ben that I really miss our old crew and would like us to do another session sometime soon. But then I realized that like there's so much that would need to happen before that could happen. Like I would have to do a session with Ben to figure out what in the world Saoirse's been doing
yep.
or if she's even still alive. And then 2, you guys would have to do a session with Ben without me.
And
probably.
Anyway.
and neither of those sessions, those one sessions, would be one session.
Yep.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, I mean the one-on-one with Danielle could definitely end up stretching out for a bit. With everybody else, I think that there could potentially be a session or two. It would a lot of it would be determining like, yeah, would there be a point at which, because I feel like there was some question about whether or not you guys would actually take off after her, if you would be content to let her make her choice and then for you guys to go do your own things for a while.
That's not really a question. Nero was very certain at the end because Saoirse had given her a map. I'm pretty sure Nero had taken that as she's coming back.
Cade would not have gone because he would have been like, "How do you find the woman of 1,000 faces?"
What was it that Saoirse left? That because it's clearly it's not just a map. What was it she left?
Let's see. That's a good question. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Hmm.
Um, I don't. I know it's definitely noted somewhere,
Okay.
but
Well, we should finish phase for this session and then take the stream off.
yep. True. Yeah, got a little sidetracked there. Let's see if I can go find it. All these injuries to my eyes.
Wow.
All right, let's see. Tonight's first phase is going to be Dex.
Oh, so soon. Well, I guess my fave would be that we did the research, we did the planning, we effectively pulled off a heist type mission, and while we did spend 2 or 3 sessions planning it, um, that's my fave is that we completed a heist, and after all the planning, it just all worked out. Guess that's not terribly easy to summarize, is it? Oh, yeah, sure it
I
is.
got you. You doubt my power.
Yeah, just based on history.
Not unwarranted. All right, Ethan, what about you?
Yeah, I guess along those lines, we've done another crime that definitely won't have consequences.
Absolutely.
And also getting money from Google Translate tonight.
Oh, busting out Google Translate.
Mm-hmm.
You chopped all up at between
Oh, sorry.
busting out and Google Translate. So
Oh yeah, it's and getting out or getting my money's worth at Google Translate tonight.
You pay for Google Translate?
I got more than my money's worth.
Oh, okay.
That's
Fair.
even better, man.
Well, I guess you pay in other secret ways. Google knows your shoe size now.
Nice. Okay. Robert.
I think it had to be Bo's sarcastic. We'll have to get you hooked on Pohonix yet. That was pretty funny. But yeah, I'm also happy with the finally getting to accomplish a mission and make a heist. Pretty big one.
We've
Yeah.
only stolen the brain of an angry megalomaniac AI.
Yep.
Fine. I don't know. Did you spell that out somewhere? Because I know the spelling was somewhat like pivotal to the. Oh, okay. You put it in quotes, actually.
I did.
All right. I'll just copy that.
Probably still needs a dash for the hook it on Pohonix.
Oh, the hooked?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna
You're
say. I thought I
right.
remember there being
You're right.
a little emphasis on the wrong part of that word.
There you go.
Oh my word.
Hooked on Pohonix.
Yeah. Eva complained about his pronunciation of every single word except for on.
All right, Avery. What about you?
I enjoyed getting away with the Declaration of Independence and not dying as
Yep.
well. I'm pretty sure that's what we left with.
Sounds legit to me.
It's like the AI version of it, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Commence or cue the squeezing of lemons over the core. Anything secret inscribed on here? Yeah, this is a tough one because there were some out of character things that I liked, but I don't know how much they were really favorites of the session.
You're the GM, you can put whatever you want.
You know what, Ethan? You are so right.
You can give me inspiration for egging on your bad instincts.
True. Yeah, I'll say I'll say the suspicion. Let's see if I can think to type here. The suspicion surrounding my laugh. Because I know it mainly got brought up one time, but I know that happens a lot, and there's something about it when it's times when I don't necessarily intend anything by it, but I still end up tinging it with just a little bit of something that makes you guys go like, wait a minute. And I'll throw in my intentions there too. I like to keep you guys on your toes. Danielle.
Man, so much happened here.
Yep.
I would say Cherry getting to come up with a plan and it actually working. And then also disarming Bo with actual empathy. And then unofficially, Cade's emo breakups. That he apparently wrote in all his free time as an
Cade's got a sector-wide hit that he's blasting out over the airwaves.
I was gonna say if you switched out Saoirse for like Captain or something like that. She like hears it on a radio somewhere and is like, "Are you freaking serious?"
The bird murder.
She'd be like, "There's no way, it's not about me." And then it gets to bird murder and she's like, "That prick, are you giving like are you idiots right now?" She's like dodging bullets or something. She's like, "Kid, when I get back there."
Yep. That was probably his intent, so
He's like, "I don't know where you are, but I'm gonna find a way to piss you off anyway, boss. And there's nothing you can do about it."
I tried to rhyme anyway after the cut.
Yeah,
I like how we almost flipped into Cade Saoirse banter there for a second, though, out of character. That's fantastic.
Hold your
Old
horses.
habits die hard.
Well, I'll go ahead and close out the stream here.
Sounds good.